Greetings, geeks. Welcome to episode 517 of Geeks in Space, the drowning of the Rosenblatts. I am Rob Commander Taco Malda, and joining me today in pretend low Earth orbit, I have two of the greatest geeks that you are ever going to have the opportunity to greet. I have Rob Roseboom.
Hello, I am undrowned.
Yep, and I have Chris DeBona.
I'm good. I'm watching the live stream to see. Yeah, all the audio's coming through, both you and Rob, so I'm assuming I'm fine too.
You are.
Here, let me check.
Everything's glorious.
Yeah, you say that, but yeah, it's all good. It's so hard watching yourself at like a half-second delay.
Oh yeah,
it's literally torture.
Yeah,
so I'm gonna stop doing that now.
This is why I jumped through so many hoops with my sound interface, because I was trying to get it so I could hear my own. I could monitor my own audio in the headphones. But if you even have like, a couple milliseconds of delay, it's that thing. Don't they do that like as crowd control, like broadcast your voice back to you?
Yeah, we've talked about that.
Yeah,
they do it at like 1/10 of a second or 1/4 of a second, and they basically take all the sound of the crowd and they pump it back out at like 4,800 hertz or whatever, with a slight delay, and it drives them crazy.
Oh, I didn't update the macro, so it's all the Friday macros, so good on me. Let's see here. Did you guys watch the WandaVision trailer?
Yeah.
I did.
Of course. I mean, what kind of nerd would I be if I didn't?
Oh, no. It's actually, I'm kind of thrilled because it's exactly what I want it to be, it looks like. I think that you can really do something fun with that premise. And they're characters that I like, and I've never read, I think it's House of M that it's based on, and I've never read that.
I haven't read it either.
But I like the idea. I like the idea that, I mean, it looks like we're going to get a season of like we're trapped in somebody's imagination or parallel pocket universe or whatever it is. I'm all in.
Yeah, I only worry that it's going to be too much golden age of television stuff, and I didn't really like the golden age of television very much. So I'm like, I mean, Lucille Ball, for all her being a visionary of television and all the rest, was for me nearly unwatchable schlock,
For sure.
And so I worry that they're gonna like veer right into the schlock, and I'm like, they had a lot of like honeymooners moments in the trailer, and I'm like, hey, that's the last thing I want to see.
So I saw a meme that was
I really like the characters, but
I saw a meme that was going by, and it was basically they took one screenshot from the trailer from each of the time zones or timelines, I guess, that she was in. And while the trailer might have well represented the older stuff, there's clearly fashion from the 70s, 80s, and 90s, which leads me to believe or hope, I guess, that each episode would kind of focus on one era. And so we wouldn't be dominated by a Lucille Ball, 7 episodes of Lucille Ball sticking chocolates down her shirt.
Or it wouldn't be him constantly threatening his wife with physical violence.
Yeah. To the moon, Wanda, to the moon.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's a metaphor for beating your wife. Yay.
Oh, Vision.
Oh,
Vision.
You're classic.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I wonder if they're going to start like in the 30s, like with really bad, television for the 30s and 40s.
Well, if you do that, you have to start in radio.
In the 30s? Yeah.
You'd have to start with radio, and they're not going to do Netflix.
Yeah.
And the 50s
has, like,
is still
Fibber McGee and Molly and The Shadow, but like with Wanda and Vision.
The 50s is still so heavily a lot of TV from the 50s is more like radio that happens to have pictures attached to it, as opposed to like us shooting sitcoms and editing what we would think of as the modern TV show. Anyway, I'm all in. I think
it's gonna be great.
Didn't Falcon and Winter Soldier get delayed? Like they didn't shoot that yet, so I don't know what's gonna happen there.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the schedule for any of those things are anymore.
And there was no date on WandaVision either. But I mean, all I got to look forward to now is Mandalorian. Chris, you should find, I put it up there, I have spoken, because this image made me giggle.
I saw that too. I was wondering if you were gonna find it.
Yeah.
Thing.
Yeah, the
half
man,
half DeLorean.
DeLorean, half man, half DeLorean. It's glorious.
Oh, wordplay. So
Oh.
fun.
Oh. All right, so I know you guys are sick of being stuck in this pandemic, Trump-infused planet. You think it's time for us to go on a reality show and go to a space station?
I like that the audience picks who goes into space. So I really hope it turns into, like, do you remember when MTV way long ago ran a contest to see who the new video or who the new VJ was, and they end up picking that burnout kid?
Yep.
So I really hope the same thing happens with this.
Right. Well, on some level, that if you think about it, that foreshadows the Trump administration pretty easily, right? Because there's a good 20% of Trump's voters in the last election who just did it to watch the world burn, and that's no different than electing the stoner kid to be MTV's new VJ.
Sure.
I don't know. I mean, I think you should merge this concept with the next Supreme Court justice. It's like have America decide which justice gets sent into space. I mean, gets sent to the Supreme Court. I think that maybe that's the answer to solve this country's problems.
Or maybe American gladiators.
Yeah, right. You can have people in those knee pads and spandex fighting it out to see who joins the lifetime appointment to the greatest court of the land.
Fight with bugle sticks to figure out who is going to be the 9th Supreme Court justice, right?
You guys wonder,
or chess boxing, chess boxing for jurists.
The thing is, like, the existing Supreme Court justices then have to be like final bosses that you have to like strike down.
Well, I figure that like the final one will then all in the hamster balls, right? So then they would all be in the hamster balls, preventing the potential new justice from, docking or wherever he has to put his or her hamster ball.
I would like to take a conversation fork if it pleases the committee.
You do, man.
So the hamster balls that you could stand inside and do sports in and that kind of thing. For a while, they were popular in ski resorts. Right,
people push them down hills.
And they would push them down ski hills, and people would, it was like super sledding, right? And
okay, I have
of course,
question.
It was a very
Chris.
bad idea.
I'm not like I've gone skiing like a couple of times in my life, and the one time I really went skiing, my friend's dad broke his leg. And so I spent the majority of my ski weekend waiting for an ambulance to take my friend's dad to the hospital. It strikes me, besides the abject terror associated with standing on top of a sheet of solid ice and waiting for the little machine to take you to the top of the mountain, and then when you get to the top of the mountain, having to jump off of the little machine onto another gigantic sheet of solid ice, each of which strikes me as being like an 80% chance of me spraining an ankle or something. It strikes me that pushing myself off of a mountain in a hamster ball is a guarantee that I will smash into a tree.
Yeah, and the idea is that you're actually suspended inside the ball. Right, and there's some gimbal mechanism that keeps you upright. But the point is, they were trying this for a couple of years before the Sochi Olympics, and a Russian ski resort just sort of forgot to catch somebody at the bottom of the hill.
He's still going today.
They kept going downhill, and they died. Right, and that was the end of ski resorts experimenting with the hamster balls. And I have to tell you, as a person who does ski a lot and have broken a wing doing it. Right, love the sport, love skiing. It's not a solid sheet of ice, by the way. It's packed snow. So
yeah, it says you.
But seriously, I mean, I love skiing. I try to do 20 plus days a season. The idea of getting on a hamster ball in Russia is like, I mean, you might as well just like stick a wingsuit on me and push me out of an airplane without a parachute. I'm just like, this is the stupidest idea I've ever heard.
Yeah, but if you do it in Russia, when you're done, you can just go and like the resort has a service where you just like ring up prostitutes to go pee on your bed for you.
Yeah. But enough about today's political scene.
It's not that bad because you're in the hamster ball, right?
That's true. It's waterproof.
Yeah.
But it's
so gross.
sadly enough, it's also airtight, so is a bit of a ticking clock.
Yeah, no, it's funny because all this. Well, yeah. Again, I don't think that this isn't ski news daily, so I'm not going to talk about all the ski resort preparations because of COVID and how the season's different. But it's actually really interesting. But there is a question of where the hell are you going to go to the bathroom? So yeah.
I mean, you're outside, aren't you? Or are you wearing too many zippers?
Well, I mean, sure, you're outside, and some people do pee in the forest, I guess, but it's cold out, So
you worried about the shrinkage, Chris? Who you
trying
to impress on the Black Diamond Lane?
When you're inside the hamster ball, you want to make sure you have plenty of clearance, right? You don't want that thing filling up as you go down the mountain.
Yeah.
Like it's like the space station.
Just like the worst snow globe ever, right?
I figure it's like the space station bathrooms. There's just some sort of hose that you just attach to your thing, and then you just let it go right out like in an evacuation chamber.
Yeah, it's funny because like you have your Camelback, so you have water going in, but then you also have something going out, and you just don't want to ski behind those people.
Right.
They should have like a big sign like "Do not ski close." Urine may be expelled.
You just have like a flashing light. Keep your distance.
Keep your distance.
Like,
all right.
I know they don't do it anymore, but didn't airplanes used to eject their waste, like over land?
Trains used to eject their waste out the bottom of the train.
If I'm to believe Joe Dirt, then yes, probably.
Well, I seem to remember there being stories about like poop ice landing on houses, but that could just be urban legend.
It happens. No, it's happened. It's happened. That's usually a flaw. That's something's broken.
Oh, you think
that's a bug, not a feature?
A mistake. That wasn't on purpose, Chris.
No, because what happens is the valve, they get to close them or whatever after they clean out the black water tanks, shall we say, and then it just the blue fluid they use as a sanitary cleanser, it builds up on the outside of the plane and it just falls off. Right when it builds up enough stuff, I guess it doesn't happen anymore. I don't think. I think I think they fixed this problem in the latest generation of airplanes. But,
that they discovered that maybe we could put it in a Ziploc and just kind of wait a couple hours.
They finally got enough negative Yelp reviews that they decided to clean up the issue. So
I didn't see Joe Dirt because not a David Spade fan. But
nobody is, even David Spade.
Did he request like them dropping big hunks of poop and
part of the storyline is that he finds what he thinks is a meteorite and he's going to sell it and carries it around in this wagon and it's just a big pile of airplane shit. So
wow, that sounds like a reason to not watch Joe Dirt.
You needed a second one.
There's probably a lot of reasons not to watch it, but
is it otherwise a good movie that I should regret?
In the David Spade catalog, I think it's probably one of the best in the David Spade catalog.
I don't know. I like,
but I mean,
right?
You're talking about the David Spade catalog, so
right. It's slotted under Adam Sandler.
Well, I'd imagine like David Spade with Chris Farley is okay, because there's some genuinely funny moments with him, before he, croaked, so I like Chris Farley.
So
anyway, on the sending someone to space for 10 days, what's interesting about this is space still has a fairly grim safety record for launches.
Yeah, like 1% chance of croaking.
3 people in every 100 who have gone to space have died in the process. This is not counting like all the ground crew mishaps that have happened. And I'm not saying like, it's bumbling NASA and Russians. It's just, it is a dangerous business.
Just like 1% of manned rocket launches explode. I mean, this is not good odds.
Yeah. So, but so will a reality show like, my guy, I want to send him to space. Oh,
that's why I'm saying you're just it's a win-win if you send up the greasy stoner VJ kid. Because if he gets up to the space station, that's going to make for some entertaining 10 days of reality TV. And if he blows up on the pad, well, I mean, that's just, one less stoner VJ kid.
Also, or you could send a prepper up there who could try to take over the space station, right?
I don't know. The Russians, aren't they allowed to have a gun? Like, isn't it like a known thing that the Russians have a gun in their capsule?
Yeah.
Oh, I hope so.
No, they do. It's in case there's any bears in the steps that show up. So they have a big old
right. They have a shotgun thing.
Yeah.
They got a shotty.
But then that if I don't know, what do we call stoner VJ kid? Like, is he a Chad?
Well, I'm looking him up. VJ Hunt winner.
I thought his name was Jason for some reason.
That's a good name for that kind of person. So yeah, but like, first of all, the Russians need a gun because if Jason shows up, they're gonna want a gun.
Or Jesse. Maybe it was Jesse.
That sounds right.
Well, it turns out there were a number of people.
Turns out that reality TV shows was the entire HR department for MTV in the mid-90s.
Well, because MTV actually had a bunch of flavors for like Indonesia.
Jesse Camp was his name.
Jesse Camp. Because I'm seeing Jamie Wilson. I'm seeing
Jesse Camp.
Maybe we should just get Jesse onto this reality show right now. Like start a write-in.
Oh, he was terrible. He was hateful from minute one.
The one that I really always remember is just Puck from like the reality show like season 3 or something.
From the
Real
first,
World.
yeah, Real World. From the first Real World, yeah.
That one,
yeah, he said wasn't he gay? So he set back gay people like a decade. That guy did.
Puck wasn't gay. Puck was the asshole to the gay guy with AIDS.
To the gay people, yeah. Oh, right. He was so bad.
Like
he was such a jerk, man.
Like a really bad move, right?
Yeah.
Like
they would never.
Okay, I think this is important news from 2017.
Oh no!
Wow.
He was just trying to clean his trailer, man.
Well, he wanted to attach the Floby attachment to get a haircut.
Yeah. This is how he's going to make a comeback, guys.
Yep.
Yeah,
this is it. They're going to clean him up. He's going to go to space.
I'm a celebrity.
Come back to Earth. Come back to Earth, a new Jesse.
I think. Well, I don't know. Like, if they do it like they have historically been doing these sorts of things, he'd have to do like whatever the 6-week training camp for cosmonaut training, right? Isn't that how they? Because I assume that you'd be harder pressed to get an American to fly him up there.
Maybe that's what the reality show is. It's just training camp.
That would make sense.
Yeah, and really upset Russians that they have to talk to all these idiots. Oh. The thing is, so even to be an alternate for the Russian thing, it's like $1.5 million fee or a $3 million fee to be an alternate, right? So to get the training and all the rest. So if they're going to take 10 people. That's $30 million right there, and then $30 million to send the winner, and I'm using that word in quotes, to the station. So
and the winner has a 1% chance of just dying that day.
Yeah. Actually, it's greater than that because 1% of rockets explode, but
don't
it takes out 3% of.
Soyuz has never had like a death on the launch pad, have they?
So actually. I don't think they have, but they have like just literally like the last Soyuz, not the current Soyuz, but the one right before it, exploded on the pad. It was
right, but not the manned one.
Yeah, so far they haven't lost a manned one that I know of. I don't know. Maybe. Well, the Russians don't talk about their losses,
the Russians lost a lot of dudes, but they have a really nice habit of they only give numbers to the missions that land. We just don't talk about that. It didn't get a number because it blew up. So. Yeah, a couple dudes died, but whatever. It doesn't get a number.
And deaths on the Soyuz. Let's go see. Okay, so Soyuz 11 did explode back in, I don't know, a long time ago.
They've been launching They've been launching Soyuz for a long time. All right, let's see.
It looks like it was on the way back in. So the 3 crew members of Soyuz 11 are the only humans known to have died in space. I'm like, okay. If you define space as, not during reentry.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I guess that's
Oh gosh.
kind of fair.
The mission ended in disaster when the crew capsule depressurized during preparations for reentry, killing the 3-person crew. The 3 crew members of Soyuz 11 are the only ones who are known to have died in space. It was Dubrovsky, Volkov, and Petseyev. So,
all right. Well, we didn't talk about. We got a couple things left on the list. We can talk about the 7-hour flight to nowhere, which strikes me as hell on earth. But if I got to poop on Joe Dirt's house, that might be okay.
Well, it kind of reminds me, like, I don't know how popular it is in other parts of the country, but around here about this time, it's very popular to take color tours in airplanes, right?
Sure.
So you pay some dude who's got a little single engine craft, and he takes you around, and you look at the lake shore, you look at all the fall colors, yada yada yada. They bring you back, and that's what this kind of sounded like. Because they take you over some ports, they take you over some reefs, through like popular tourist destinations. But yeah, you're in a giant freaking jet.
Yeah, that's
right?
not fun.
It's not the same thing.
And so I assume that you have to go through the same security rigmarole, which is like the worst. So you have to do all the worst parts of flying.
All the worst parts, and then sit on a jet for 7 hours looking at the ground through your teeny little window, and then they eventually bring you back to the airport. But at least you don't have to check in luggage, though, right?
Cool.
So this was the flight on the it was like a 12-seater Zeppelin that we did over the Bay Area. That's a window. That's all I want to say. Look at that monster window these things had.
Sure.
And so this guy was literally sticking his head out and taking a picture with his DSLR.
Okay, I got a question. Does he at least have a neck strap?
Nope.
Oh,
I don't think he did. He didn't lose his thing.
I'm going to go on a limb though and say he's a Googler. So if he drops his DSLR, he can afford the lawsuit when it lands in Joe Dirt's backyard.
Yeah, exactly. But it was really special. It was kind of a great trip.
I'd do that in a heartbeat, man. That would be awesome. But I would not.
Yeah.
I would not do the airplane.
Yeah. You're not flying as high as a jet, as fast as a jet, and the windows are much bigger. So
yeah.
All in all, a better experience for looking at the ground.
And
did they only sell window seats, or did they sell like all of them?
They have to social distance.
Wouldn't that suck? I got the aisle about that.
I got the middle
seat on the flight to nowhere.
I got the middle seat, and the guy next to me is really, really overweight, so it sucks. We're fighting over the armrest.
Yeah, man.
Oh, it's a nightmare. Okay. Not that Nate shared this, and I just think it's really neat. They got Mario 64 running on a Sega Dreamcast, which is pretty cool. Those are kind of era equivalent hardware. I mean, 64 is a little bit older, but I mean that's pretty impressive in terms of the hack and the efficiency of the emulation.
Yeah. There it is. Okay. There you go.
You seem to have lagged out on your presentation. Oh, there he is. Oh, it's me, a Mario. Oh, good, it's Samsung.
Every time this website, it's so Kotaku ad filled, So
I like that Mario 64 is one of those litmus tests for emulation systems, because now you'll see they all like emulate it like with line doublers, and they also there's emulators that can do widescreen versions of Mario 64. Like they're doing weird stuff with Mario 64. It's I don't know. I think that's really cool. That was like Mario 64 was kind of like in the era of my last era of really being a console gamer. Because after that, I was just too busy to do much of anything. But man, I loved Mario 64.
So my question is, was Mario 64 source code released along with that, that big hack on Nintendo recently?
I believe. I don't know if it was entirely.
This is just pure emulation.
Well, this was an emulation.
I can't remember for sure.
The code was in there. I don't know if it was a fully buildable version of the code, but the code was in there. Because they were mining it for assets. They found the Luigi models, and they found like all sorts of weird stuff in there, like buildings that didn't exist and stuff in the final game. Anyway, I just thought that was neat. But I like that Mario 64 is like one of those litmus tests. It doesn't run very good, even like on a Raspberry Pi 4. It's playable, but you definitely see some choppiness. So that's kind of That's kind of the edge right now for a lot of those emulation platforms is Mario 64. GameCube is like the holy grail right now for the low end emulation market. People want the little handhelds, the little $50 ARM handhelds running some sort of Android variant to run GameCube games and PlayStation 1 games. That's like the sweet spot right now. We have two things kind of left on the list. Do you guys want to talk about Carol Baskin, or do you guys want to talk about Microsoft buying Bethesda?
Oh boy, what
There's
did Carol
much to say about Carol other than the ad they ran during her Dancing with the Stars debut supposedly led to some useful tips, some actionable tips, I think they said.
The thing that I didn't understand, the thing that I don't understand is the subset of people, like the Venn diagram of people who watch Dancing with the Stars, have actionable information about Carol Baskin and the alleged murderer of that dude, and didn't know that Carol Baskin, like maybe there's something fishy going on. Like, that can't be a lot of people.
Like they see Dancing with the Stars, they're like, oh, that Carol Baskin.
Oh, it's her. Well, darn, I saw her buy a new shotgun and take gun training lessons the day before.
Oh, that's
weird.
that whole Tiger King they were talking about so much around the house. Oh,
well,
okay.
I don't think the target audience was people who didn't know. I think the target audience was people who knew and didn't say anything.
Who care? Yeah. Wow.
I'm just saying, after 20 years, I can't imagine being flipped by the commercial during Dancing with the Stars. But hey,
happens all the time. Like with serial killers, old rape cases. I mean, shit happens like that.
That's the thing about that show. What was the one with Robert Stack? They would talk about crime,
unsolved mysteries.
It actually solved a lot of damn mysteries. Because a lot of people were like, "Oh shit, Robert Stack's talking about that thing." Oh,
sure, but
that's Bob Jones.
But
yes, he was a strangler.
Everybody in the universe during the first 2 weeks of quarantine did nothing but talk about Carol Baskin and the murdering of her husband thing. Like, how do you get this far? I don't know. I guess maybe you're just a fan
because Tiger King didn't have the number to call. The ad does, right? So it's all about convenience too, They really should have
6530, man.
All right.
Exactly.
You know what? There's probably some Tampa-based Geeks in Space listener who's like, "Oh, the lady with the big cat rescue. Oh yeah, she totally killed her husband. I saw it.
Right. I gave her tons of money and took pictures when I went to her camp and really respected her as a person. Who would give?
I can't imagine
who would give that money to one of these big cat rescues.
I just bought some postcards. All right, those postcards. All right, I didn't give her like $100. It turns out I went back and looked at my account. I just bought some postcards
after paying for your admission.
Yeah, sure. And that was like, I'm sure, like $20 or $40 or something.
I'm just saying, Carol Baskin all in has got to be like well over 3 figures richer thanks to the DeBona family.
Well, we did go there twice, so yeah, it was probably like,
yep.
We loved that place, man. I mean, who doesn't love tigers and lions? And
did you learn nothing from Tiger King?
I mean, each time we went, they gave us a finger that we were supposed to throw out on the highway after we drove away 20 miles. But,
we thought it was weird, but we really like cats.
Yeah, we really like cheetahs. So,
yep. You reach into the Don bucket, you grab whatever you grab, and it's your job to throw it away. But 5 miles minimum away from Big Cat Rescue.
Right. Or in a body of water.
But we did get the special tour, and that probably cost extra. So,
Dude, you probably paid $300 to Carol Baskin.
Oh,
if you got the special tour, went twice, and postcards.
No, I think we only went once, but I think we had the special tour. But the special tour was probably, they didn't charge a lot in the grand scheme of things, because they're competing with Busch Gardens. They're competing with Lowry Park Zoo. So, they can't go crazy, right? But yeah, I do remember paying like $5 a postcard for postcards. So I have them somewhere in the house. I'll try to find them.
All right, so Microsoft is buying Bethesda for like $7.5 billion.
Right? That's really something.
Right?
That's like 3 Minecrafts.
Isn't that like, yeah, that's a lot of Minecrafts. I thought the Minecraft thing was $1 billion deal.
It was like 1.2 or 1.8, or it wasn't quite 2, but yeah.
Yeah, why Microsoft is the perfect fit. Written by an HR
Oh, it's the
department.
perfect fit, evidently.
Yep.
Right.
Surprise! The perfect fit was $7.5 billion. That was the right size. Wow. Yeah, that's crazy. So now Microsoft, they bought Halo back in the day for like Xbox for the first ones, and then they had Minecraft for like the last generation, and now
Microsoft has 53 studios under their Game Studios banner, right?
Well, Chris, have you considered becoming?
Sorry, 54.
Have you considered becoming number 55? Because it seems like that might be lucrative.
I would only point out that we haven't shipped yet. Right?
Oh yeah, that helps.
It turns out nobody cares if you don't ship, so we're still super alpha and all the rest. So
I don't know. You've got like 3 kids that I heard you had a kid that has over 100 play test hours in that game.
Actually, we've got some alpha testers who have been playing 70 hours a week, Rob? Like,
yeah, we put in almost 80 hours this past week.
I'm just like,
that's awesome.
It's exciting. It's really exciting to see people really dive into this thing, So
I think that there is, and I say this with all sincerity in my heart, there's almost nothing better in the world than knowing that total strangers are grooving on what you're doing.
Right? It's neat. It's super fun.
It's cool when you like something and someone else likes it too.
And it's the thing. It's the thing you put when you put your heart into it. Every day.
Especially when you're right. Especially when it's not one of your friends. When someone you have no context or history with. Someone who's just like, hey, that's freaking awesome.
Well, we have a community of people, Rob, who are from Spain? I think it's Spain or Portugal. Is it Spain? We have
Spain, but we're getting a lot of Australians too.
We have no idea how they came. Like it's so cool that they found the game, and we're like, I'm trying to buff up my Spanish a little bit on Duolingo so I can not be a complete idiot in chat. But it's like, yeah, it's great, man. I'm like, wow, how do these people? This is so cool, So
well, congratulations. You're just if you get like maybe 100 million of those. Then maybe Microsoft buys you out for $7.5 billion.
I don't think there's 100 million Spaniards.
Oh,
is there?
Oh yeah, there is.
I don't think so.
Can you get some Aussies?
There's
too?
100 million people who speak Spanish.
Well, sure. I'm talking about 100 million residents of Spain. I don't know what the population of Spain is.
It's probably it's maybe 100 million at most, under 100 million, 30 million. I don't know. I know Australia is like 33 million.
If only some sort of search engine could answer that question. What
is
the population of Spain?
I'm shucking beans.
46.94. Your bean is green, Chris.
I know. I didn't really think that through. So this is a fava bean, in case you're.
No, it's not.
This is a fava bean.
It's nothing. It's a window into a Tron dimension.
Yeah, I was going to
record bean.
Because people, I get like a bag, but it's not important. Let's keep talking about ZeniMax. So ZeniMax has Skyrim, they have Fallout, they have Doom. This is they're picking up all the sort of games.
I was trying to think of so game studios now left that are independent-ish. I mean, I'm not talking about like people directly associated with Sony or I'm thinking maybe Rockstar.
No, man, Rockstar, EA, Blizzard. Blizzard also has what's the sub brand?
They're owned by Vivendi, right? Or did Vivendi sell them?
No, they're their own thing. Activision, Blizzard. Yeah. So yeah, there's still a lot of really big, game companies.
But
it's getting winnowed down.
No, I actually, now that I think about it, are there any billion-dollar game entities that are not affiliated with like I would say once you're
console
EA,
maker?
you're in a different bucket. But I like EA and Epic are kind of in a different bucket. I'm just trying to think of like something that would be like buyable like this.
Well, I think just like any business, right?
Activision.
Once you get to a certain price point, you just get bought out, right?
Yeah.
It's like the Amazon, business model. Once your product hits a special number, something is alerted to the boss, and then they start making your product.
Oh,
undercutting
weird.
you. I mean, it's
You
just the
sell
way that
enough
works,
of it,
right?
and an Amazon basic version of it just materializes out of the ether.
Well,
Yeah.
that was probably the goal of Amazon's game studio effort, which has not gone well, So like I was actually really surprised that Amazon didn't buy Crytek back when they were going through their reorganization, because, they had based the Lumberyard AWS game service on Crytek in the beginning, and now it's supposed to work for more than them. But yeah, everyone was just like, Crytek, why would you pick Crytek? That's just so weird. But then Crytek went out of business, and I was like, I bet you there was a negotiation that fell apart inside Amazon, for that engine.
Fair enough. I don't know. I'm just, man, I don't know. You guys might be the biggest independent studio left.
I really don't think that's true.
Oh,
I mean, there's so many game studios that are
I know. I'm just
shipping games.
Oh yeah, that helps. That helps. But none of their games have Hawaiian themed ukulele music, right?
That's true. And we have graffiti now too. What's really cool about it is there's a gaming group out of Hawaii called 808, right? And they've discovered the game, and they're like, oh, it's so great, this is Hawaii. They're like, oh, you spelled shave ice right, And
that's cool.
And it's been really super.
That was
nice.
One of the highlights with them when they appreciated that they saw the little touches. Like, no, it doesn't say shaved ice; it says shave ice.
Yeah, we actually had a graphics designer who was working on the door. It's a door, and it's taken from a shave ice truck, and use it in your construction. And he had corrected the spelling and put it into the staging server, and we're like, you spelled it wrong.
Nope.
And he's like, no, I didn't. It's shaved. And I was like, no, it's Hawaii. It's shave. So. Yeah.
All right, man. You guys got to watch Repo Man for tomorrow night.
Yeah, I really do. And I have to go to my room.
Already did.
I'm only 15 minutes in, and I've never seen it before. I thought I had.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I've never seen it before either, so this is going to be something.
Oh, really?
My wife practically, I mean, she didn't divorce me. I mean, she loved me, but she was very surprised. She's like, oh, you need to watch this movie.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Repo Man, for me, is a lot like Lebowski in that it's a kind of a weird movie, but there's so much going on all the time that you don't really get maybe the first time you see it or something. But yeah, it's good.
Roseman can bring he can drown us in details.
Drop the knowledge.
Indeed, I can.
Because the drowning, I'll bring us back to the beginning.
Are we gonna drown Joe Dirt with knowledge?
No, I was thinking.
I'm pushing the button. Let's say goodbye to Chris DeBona.
Goodbye, everybody.
Say goodbye to Rob Roseboom.
See ya.
And I am Rob Commander Taco Malda. Thank you for listening to episode 517 of Geeks in Space. We'll see you tomorrow night for Repo Man, 8 o'clock at night. It's going to be epic.